And to find out. Here we go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have Solar for Team Vitality. And in the bottom left, we have GuMiho for Cloud9. Here we go. As we are going to be settling in. Again, Solar going for a 15-15, 15 hatch into a 15 spawning pool. Very safe opener out of Solar. Meanwhile, GuMiho going to be opening up, with a low ground wall off. Okay, very interesting builds here. Again, I do think you can get away with this on this map. For those that are curious, Crimson Court, of course, is one of the new maps in the map pool. It does have a very wide open natural, is what I will say. It has a large entry point in towards the natural base. But as you can see, as we're going for a 2x opener, there are minerals that actually head and open up towards the northern section of the map. So you can actually wall off here on the right hand side and take a linear third base instead if the game goes on long enough. Now before that happens, it's 2x Reaper. It's going to be 2x Reaper here out of GuMiho. And we should only be making a handful of Reapers. There should be 3 Reapers in total by GuMiho, looking to contain Solar on 2 bases. And because Solar went for a 15-15, he should be safe. Oh. As it looks like we are experiencing a little bit of lag. And we're going to be waiting it out. Hopefully it does resolve. But for those that are curious, the opener that Solar went for, the 15-15, it does mean that your link speed is late. That is true. So link speed is going to be later for Solar, but he will have faster access to queens and faster access to lings. Basically, the faster queens here will help so much in the defense. It does mean that it takes a little bit longer for Solar to get map control, but he shouldn't really take too much damage. Should eventually be able to take his natural, take his third base, and macro out from there. Things shouldn't get too out of hand, but we'll see. Because at the end of the day, it's still about the execution, and Reapers are in production. Let us go. Let's go. There we go. The CC is going to be on the low ground. Again, 2x Reaper is not an all-in out of GuMiho. Not at all. It is not an all-in. As we have our first Reaper getting across the map. Again, there's going to be a second and a third Reaper behind this. We're going to be dancing with the lings, dancing with the units here of Solar. Queen comes out just in time. And the Reaper is forced back. Ooh, interesting. So GuMiho is making a 4th Reaper. I think he canceled. No, he is making a 4th Reaper. Interesting. So this is a bit of a bigger commitment here for GuMiho. I don't think the 4th Reaper is necessary, but he is making it, is investing. With 4 Reapers, you're going to be containing your opponent for quite some time. Again, that's the goal at least. Ooh, as GuMiho is going for the tithe. Dives into the main base, going for the mineral line. Can he get any drones? Ooh, bleeds out a Reaper. Doesn't quite get the drone either. It gets lings, but no drone kills. There's that 4th Reaper. Does join up with the rest. Behind this, you can see that's a 3rd CC before factory. Very greedy follow-up here from GuMiho. 3rd CC is already on the way. I imagine he does want to take the linear third base, but we'll see. We'll see if he does end up mining through those gold minerals. Solar, he did sneak out a drone. You can see here GuMiho trying to force a cancel. Does get a couple of hits in, but at this point we have plenty of queens. We have plenty to defend. Yeah, GuMiho gets the hell out of there. Again, he's fully aware of the timings, does back off. And the game is going to be settling from here. The game is going to be settling down. Link speed kicks in. Oh, gets a Reaper. Gets one, gets a second Reaper as well. Ooh, getting a 3rd Reaper. All of them do go down. GuMiho, he did overstay his welcome. He should have pulled back a little bit sooner there. GuMiho does get caught. And with that, Solar has map control. GuMiho going to be contained to 2 bases. And I'm curious to see where Solar techs from here. Speaking of teching, we can see that GuMiho, again, he's already got his 3rd base. Soon to be landed on location. Working on double E bays, sorry, double engineering bays for double upgrades, as well as eventually medevac play. As the starboard just finished up, and we should be making medevacs momentarily. There we go, they're in production. Until then, GuMiho has been stuck at home, but with the arrival of medevacs, he can be active. Likewise, Solar, he's getting ready for that activity here. He's getting ready for GuMiho. Just droning up, spreading as much creep as possible, pre-splitting his army. And Solar, he is going double Evo Chamber before Lair, so a very greedy play here out of Solar. Very greedy, we'll see if he can get away with it. Double drop is moving out. Again, this medevac drop timing shouldn't be too much of a surprise for Solar. He doesn't spot the move out, but based on the opener that he spotted, he should be aware. Should be aware that drop plays upon him. There we go, medevac's out spotted. Solar trying to engage here. Good positioning using those minerals here to just wall off. Yeah, efficient trade here with these Marines. Medevac's taking a lot of hits. Can we focus on the medevac's down? We got one. We managed to get one medevac. Not a bad pick off there by Solar. Forcing GuMiho to throw away some of his gas. That was a lot of Lings though. Behind this armory is on the way. That's going to be for 2-2 for the Terran. Forcing him back. Behind this, just Ling Bane into Hydra. Okay, so we have our composition. Solar going Ling Bane Hydra. Pretty standard unit composition here from our Zerg player. GuMiho just trying to be active, trying to keep the creep at bay, and ideally split his opponent apart. Toss him on forward. Gets a couple of tumors. Ooh, as we did try to target fire those tumors, we got one, not quite the other. But again, GuMiho just keeping the creep at bay. Keeping Solar pinned back. GuMiho catching, what was that, 4 or 5 active tumors. Very nice pickup. Main army's pushing out. Okay, that is going to be 3 tanks. Decent positioning here behind that cliff face. Yeah, Solar, you cannot take this base. The hatchery is going to be cancelled. At least I believe it just should be within range if we had vision. Solid shoot on that as Solar is amassing more Ling Bane Queens from the high ground. And we collapse in the position. Yeah, not enough Marines. We should collapse on the tanks. Tanks are going to be going down, but where are the Lings? Where are the Lings? We're running out. One tank does survive. We reinforce, and GuMiho is breaking through. It breaks through the defensive line. There's almost nothing left here. Good splits out of GuMiho. Cleans up all the banelings. GG gets called. There is nothing left, and just like that, GuMiho, he pops off. He takes game number 1. GG. Again, for that push, Solar, he had a good amount of banelings, but would love to see one of the newer maps. But here we go in the top left-hand corner. We have Solar, the team Vitality. And in the bottom right, we have GuMiho for Cloud9. Here we go. This time GuMiho going for the depot on top of the ramp, so this time there will not be a 2-axe opener out of our Terran player. Again, it was a pretty successful 2-axe opener out of GuMiho in the sense that we were able to contain our opponent. You were able to contain them on 2 bases and delay the 3rd. We did lose the Reapers soon thereafter, so the follow-up from that wasn't quite ideal, but the opener itself was okay. but we can see that GuMiho isn't really embracing that more aggressive style. And likewise, Solar going for a hatch gas pool. This time, no 15-15 shenanigans, it's a straight up hatch gas pool instead. Standard opener out of Solar. Likewise, what looks to be a standard opener out of GuMiho. I say what looks to be because, yo, I've been proven wrong before, okay? Like, GuMiho is more than willing to mech it up or willing to throw down a proxy or to spice up his builds in some way. Now, I did just actually bring it up, and something that I should mention in the new patch is that, at least it's of my opinion, that with the new patch, with the change and the nerf to the Cyclone, that did impact and that did influence mech in TVZ. If you've been watching the channel recently, if you've been watching StarCraft for the past couple of months, then you would know that players like Maru, Clem, Byun, these historically bio players were playing mech. They were playing mech as of, you know, basically the entire year so far. Not every game, not every ZvT, but they'd mix it into a series. And they were using it to quite great effect. They were whipping out and making the Mass Cyclone work wonders. But now with the change to the Cyclone, I don't see Mass Cyclone being anywhere near as effective, anywhere near as viable. But it's GuMiho, so yeah, maybe. Maybe he can make some magic happen there. Reaper dips in. Gets eyes on the third base, is going to dip out. Meanwhile, back at home, we do have the third CC on the way. That is a third CC before starport. So a very economic build here from GuMiho. Very standard so far. Very standard indeed. For those that are curious when it comes to what changes were made to the Cyclone that would impact and influence mech versus Zerg, that was the fact that now you have a 3-second cooldown on the Cyclone itself, on the lock-on. So it does mean you can actually have some counterplay. You can micro against the Cyclone, and the Cyclone is actually a lot more vulnerable than it used to be. A lot more vulnerable. So it is less viable overall. But I'm curious to see if, again, anyone does try to still make mech work here at the highest level of play. We'll keep our eye out for players like Clem, Maru, and Byun. We'll see if they do try to experiment with it. For now, though, we're just settling in, getting into our 3cc into a 1-1-1. Likewise, Solar is just happily droning, just trying to keep up. Behind this, Hellion is going to be rotating around, maneuvering towards that third. They're running the third base, but no dives yet. Again, GuMiho doesn't want to throw these away. Oh, we do have a Baneling Nest first here from Solar. Okay, very safe play. Very safe player here out of Solar. Basically, what's happening is that Solar, he is throwing down his Baneling Nest, which means he's delaying his Evo chambers, so he has delayed upgrades. Likewise, he's going for a delayed lair and delayed Baneling speed in favor of just the safetiness it does provide you here. And a really good read. We're going for a Hellbat push. That is an armory. That is an armory on the way for GuMiho. And that armory, it's not for 2-2, it is for Hellbats. And Banelings, they're going to help so much here in the defense against Hellbats early on. There we go, safety Banelings on the way. Really good read here out of Solar. I was about to scold him a little bit. I was like, yo, he's playing overly safe. Like, is it wise to do so against GuMiho? Apparently it is. Apparently it all does make sense here. Yeah, the first drop is forced back. Hellions, they do head towards that mineral line. Lingbane is in position. And the drop is forced back. Hellions, they try to rotate in once again. But so far, Solar, he is keeping up. And he is shutting GuMiho down. GuMiho going for a drop into the main. There's that Hellbats. Again, just doing whatever he can, trading against the Lings, but this is just not a worthwhile trade for GuMiho. He was hoping for more. He didn't get it. Threatens another dive. Doesn't commit. Drop coming in towards the south. So far, GuMiho just been really testing the waters. He did drop into the main, but not the most committed of drops. And now we're reinforcing. Now we're pushing out with an army. Now what I will say is that I want to give the edge to Solar because clearly the investment into that armory wasn't worth it. Clearly, like, the Hellbats weren't really worth it in the end. We weren't able to catch Solar out of position. And we're diving on the third base. Bailey's do roll in. Bailey's speed kicks in. Ooh. Does kick in. Medevac goes down. We catch some of the Hellions as well. Very nice catch here by Solar. Gets Hellions, shuts down the Marines, gets a Medevac. Solo looking much more comfortable here in game 2. And this is what we spoke about, how Side Delta is a much more comfortable map for Solar. Doesn't have to second guess himself. He's aware of how the meta works. And with that Solar, he does have map control. GuMiho fighting for it, is pushing out with quite an army. As he pushes out, Solar is taking up even further. He doesn't just have Lingbane Hydra, he's working towards Hive Tech. But before we can think about Hive Tech, here comes GuMiho. It looks like it's just a split push. Nothing to worry about here. And we force back the double drop. The creep is being cleaned up. But again, for the most part, Solar, he is going to be safe and sound here. He deflects all the aggression. And Solar, he's about to max out. He's about to max out. He's getting into 2-2. Infestation Pit is done for Solar. I believe he hasn't started the Hive yet, but he has access to it. And yep, there we go. There's a Hive just now starting. 7 SCVs go down across the map. And Solar's maxed out. GuMiho has to be very careful pushing in here. Has to be on his toes. There you can see him clear up creep and then backs the hell off. Again, he's aware he doesn't want to throw away his army. Still maxing out. Fusion Core is on the way. That's going to be for Liberator range. Lurker Den and Hive on the way here for Solar. And here we go. Solar, he does catch the army. He does clean it up. Oh, and he can keep on pushing. Can keep on pushing. Big connections here on the Marines. Oh, and every single Marauder going to be going down. Yeah, and this may just be it. We go for a desperation drop into the main base, but there's only a handful of Marines. GuMiho, he plummets in supply. Sure, GuMiho is on 4 bases, but he needs time to rebuild, and now is just losing too much too quickly. Solar's going to be the first to remax, and Solar is going to be the first to push out once again. GuMiho in a lot of trouble. Sometimes one bad fight is all it takes. And to be fair, it was just a cascading effect here from Solar. Collapsing on the army. Advantage roll in, they connect with the reinforcements. They headed for the middle line. GG gets called. There is just nothing left there. Only a handful of units. And Solar ties it up 1-1. GG. We are headed. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amphion, we do have Solar. And in the top left, we have his opponent, we have GuMiho for Cloud9. Okay. Now, does anyone remember Redshift? Oh boy. Okay, so we do have a standard third base to be taken, but we have some minerals that we can mine through. So the area connecting these two bases, the main bases of Solar and GuMiho, is cut off by these mineral walls. I believe it takes 4 passes to actually mine through those minerals and to get into the other side. Wall is being set up by GuMiho. Interesting, on the other side of those mineral walls, not on the ramp. This is odd. Wait, what? Okay, so GuMiho starting up his wall in an interesting location. I'm curious if he has something in mind. But yeah, it takes quite a while to mine through those minerals. We have to mine through it, I guess, 4 times on each side if you wanted to try to rush. But likewise, you can also take that base, and it can be quite safe to take as well, depending on the game state. There's going to be a hatch gas pool opener here out of Solar. Overlord does confirm the rack's placement and location, and again, a very interesting one. I'm not too fond of it. It looks like it's going to be able to wall off the mineral wall, yes, but what about the ramp on the right-hand side? Like, Solar has access to that, so curious. I'm going to be curious here as we are going for that factory after TC. Just say racks expand into the factory here from the side of GuMiho. Solar just going to be taking the linear third base. Reaper moving out across the map. And we are going to threaten some of these drones. Shouldn't be able to pick any of them off. Oh, does get a ling. He wants the drone as well, a little bit greedy. Yeah, a little bit too greedy out of GuMiho. Ooh, does take some extra hits. And is forced out. Solar does offend. Solar gets his third base. I would not be surprised if Solar goes for another Bane in S first build. Would not be surprised, but we'll keep our eye on Solar. Still a little bit too early for that. I think speed is on the way. We're focusing on droning. Likewise, interesting. GuMiho. He did not go for a third CC. That is a straight up 1-1-1 build here. This is a bit of a rarity. You don't see 1-1-1s too often anymore, outside of players like Future or hyper aggressive players as well, like GuMiho. Ooh, and he's going into BC. Wait, what? Okay, Fusion Core is on the way. Do we go for a second starport? We have the time. The Tech Lab is finishing up. Are we going Banshee first, then BC? I kind of want to see the Banshee first. Here we go. Ling comes in for a scout. Oh, does slip into the natural. Oh, doesn't quite get the scout of the main base. The scout is denied. We can see that it is not going to be a Banshee first. It's going to be Raven first. From GuMiho researching interference matrix, but I think that's just for show. Yeah, there we go. It's just for show. He cancels the Matrix. He cancels the Raven. Overlord coming back in, but the Overlord does not see the setup, does not see the production. BCs are on the way. Oh, and Solar, he is in the dark. Now, based on the vision that we just saw, it looks like he may have seen the lack of researching on the Tech Lab, which is suspect. It should still be researching. Hellions, they threaten to die, but they don't quite get into the mineral line. They pick up Wings more than anything. Wings are being shaved off. BC is on the way. Now, to wind it back a little bit, it's only a single BC. We're not getting into a second starport. I'm curious if we even make a second battle cruiser because we're not investing into Yamato. No Yamato, so I'm feeling only a... well, we'll see. We'll see how we make use of them. BC builds like this also typically lead into mech. Yep, and there it is. There is the second factory on the way. It is, in fact, going to be mech. Now, remember, we just spoke about this. We just spoke about how the Cyclone has been nerfed, so I'm curious how mech works. We dive into the main base, and so far, we're the queens. Drones are being targeted down. We deny any kind of mining in the main base. Queens are rotating over as well, though. That's what, 6, 7, 8 queens here for Solar. But he's being dragged out of position. The Hellions are diving into the third. The Hellions are diving into the third base. Drones are getting roasted. Ooh, a lot of damage being dealt. Solar, he's in a lot of trouble now. He's in so much trouble as the drones, they line up. The barbecue is real. 16 drones go down, and we're not done. The BC's still going ham. We're still making more Hellions behind this. More Hellions are on the way. We get 20 drones in total. Remember, more factories. Mech is on the horizon for GuMiho. But what kind of mech exactly? So again, because of the nerf to the Cyclone, I feel like battle mech, or at least Cyclone heavy styles, are a little bit less viable nowadays. So we're continuing BC production, making Hellions. Are we just going Hellion tank? Are we just going for a more traditional form of mech? That's viable, definitely. That is a real possibility here for GuMiho. Second BC teleports across the map. Commando's on the way. Yeah, we're just catching more of these overlords. Let's go. Oh my god, that's a new upgrade. What is it? Got the new upgrade on the way. Drone's gonna be targeted down. I remember they renamed Hurricane thrusters to Hurricane engines. I know that. But what upgrade is that? What is that? I'll be honest, I'm not familiar with that. I guess I'll just have to wait until it shows on the right hand side. Or if you're in the chat, let us know if you're aware. Because they didn't add a new upgrade, right? I don't remember seeing that in the patch notes, but I may have just forgotten. It is. I mean, I have been in bench for the past couple of days, so it's possible. For now, Hellions pushing through the center. Again, the economy has been crippled by Solar. Tries to commit. Not enough roaches though. Not enough roaches to really slow this down. It's the same Cyclone update, just a graphic refund. Oh, okay, there you go. So that is Hurricane engines. I'm gonna have to get used to saying that instead of Hurricane thrusters. Yep, there it is. Upgrade name Hurricane. So it looks like they changed the visual, which I guess makes sense because, I mean, the visual showed thrusters before, but now we know. For those that are curious, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Hurricane thrusters, which was the speed upgrade for the Cyclone, it got a name change, apparently for lore reasons. Apparently Cyclones don't use thrusters, so they removed the word thruster and they changed it with engine. A Cyclone does have an engine, confirmed. So I guess visually they changed it as well. Really just a cosmetic change, nothing major. I mean, nothing major with the upgrade, but the unit itself has changed quite a bit, and we have been amassing some Cyclones. Now again, as a reminder, the biggest change to them is that you can break the lock-on for a couple of seconds. But here we go, we dive, we do focus on the first Cyclone, we get the second as well. Good target firing here out of Solar. Does get 2 Cyclones, bearing in mind though that again, this is not pure Cyclone. We only have a handful of Cyclones, and behind this we have a wall of tanks. You can see GuMiho trying to bait the army into tank range. Good positioning, good setup. The other problem here with Amphion is that, again, it does have a short rush just to spike round. And the sensor tower even covering more than halfway across the map at this point. Very aggressive expanding here by GuMiho. Lings, they try to dive in, but we have the wall of tanks that's set up here, even behind the rocks. This is brutal. Oh my god. There's no pushing up this ramp. There's no pushing up this ramp here, not into this death wall that GuMiho has set up. So again, a very good positioning, very good engagement out of GuMiho. And Solar, he's up against the wall. Trading with the Hellion Cyclone. It's on GuMiho to slowly leapfrog forward and actually push onto creep. As GuMiho is setting up at the center of the map, we're going for a big Ling run-by. This Ling run-by has potential to get a lot of damage done. Will force the Hellions to respond, but the Hellions in the middle of moving out. As the Hellions move out, as the Cyclones move out, the Lings, they do go for a big backstab. They do get on top of the production. At least some of it. We have reinforcements though, and we will hold. Slows down some of the add-ons, but not much else. Ooh, as the army's out of position, we get a tank. Not bad. I'm sure we wanted more than just one, but not a bad pickoff out of Solar. BCs are caught out. Big pickoff here. Teleport 1 second too late as one of the BCs does fall. Solar getting his base up and running. GuMiho threatening a dive. Very nice anti-armor missile there on the army. He does finally get that Raven. Meanwhile, our army compositions are transitioning a little bit here. We have Thors on the way. Thors are here. Sorry, I'm dying a little bit. But behind this, Solar is also taking up into Hive Tech, into the Greater Spire, into Broodlords. But the Thors are coming out just in time for said Broodlords. As we catch out a couple of Hellions, we catch out a couple of Cyclones as well. But we're straight here from Solar. But I believe the Broodlords have been revealed. Yeah, we have more Vikings on the way, more Thors on the way. No. Now, Broodlords, again, they do actually pose quite a threat here to GuMiho if he hadn't already seen them. And there we go. Scan does confirm them, and he has plenty of Thors, of Vikings, 3 more starports on the way. This should be triggering a big kind of air transition here out of GuMiho. As the Broodlords, they do catch one of the Thors. Tanks are exposed. We get 1, we get 2. 2 tanks go down. A nice catch there from Solar. Looks like he gets a 3rd tank towards the end. A Viking count not quite high enough really to tango with all those Broodlords. We do get 1. Good target firing here out of GuMiho. Gets a 2nd Broodlord. Solar diving on the right hand side, but he's throwing his Broodlords away, by the way. Yeah, every single Broodlord does fall, but at the same time he breaks through on the right hand side, cleans up all the tanks. The ground army of GuMiho is struggling. Ooh, losing another Thor. Ooh, barely does survive it. I was going to say that again, expensive losses there for GuMiho. GuMiho remaxing with Banshees? Wait, what? Okay. Some Banshees on the way. File's going to be connecting with these tanks. Again, where's the army to buffer and support these tanks? It's not here. It is not here. We get 3 tanks for our troubles. And the game is going to settle. And there was that intense moment when GuMiho was moving out. Likewise, when Solar was moving out as well. We're just calming things down, trying to see where we're at. Okay, sorry, I was just coughing my lungs out. But Solar, he hasn't got his side of the map. He has been expanding, taking more bases. His economy is looking solid, but he needs a little bit more time to build up his bank. He hasn't had the most efficient of trades. Speaking of efficiency, that's kind of the biggest downside here for Solar, is that he has not been making any spellcasters. He's been throwing away a lot of Broodlords, a lot of Corruptors, a lot of Lingbane, Roach Ravager, but there have been no Infestors or Vipers yet from Solar. And Broodlords are coming in. We do catch 1, 2 of those Thors. Woman's getting a third. Vipers, they have arrived. Do we get a yoink? No, we don't. Ooh. Yeah, both Vipers get sniped. Nice Yamato there out of GuMiho. With the Vipers going down, there's no abductions, no yoinks. Where's the anti-air? No shot. The BCs! The BCs, they're going by uncontested. The Queens are rotating over, but we have a Yamato available, and Queens, we need more than that to deal with 2 battle cruisers. The 2 MVP BCs. Corruptors are on the way, but they need time. And Vikings are going ham. BCs chasing down the Ravagers. They catch some workers, they catch a base, more BCs moving out. Now there are Corruptors in production, so we have to be careful to overextend, but these BCs are doing so much on their own. I mean, the Battlecruiser opener worked wonders to begin with, and now the BCs, they continue to gain value here. The Yamato, the Queens, 11 drones go down. Ooh, and we're cleaning up every single Broodlord. There's 2 Broodlords left. And the BCs, they do make it back home. And again, GuMiho has just been so efficient. And because it's been more efficient, you can see that reflected in the bank. Solar, he's burned through his mineral bank. GuMiho, he has 2k. He's soon working on 3k minerals in the bank. Pulling a couple of voids because he knows he can afford to lose them. He knows that he should be losing some SCBs. Now we do have more bases on the way, 3 more orbitals in production. Cloud's going to be connecting. Yamatos are going ham, and they're just... Do we have enough Corruptors? It doesn't look like we do yet. Not enough anti-air, not enough to stop the BC. The wave of mech. GG gets called, and GuMiho will take this series 2-1. GG, well played. GuMiho showing us all that